Hey, what's up you guys, this is SGB618 here, and today I'm going to be doing my top 5 favourite 2D Mario games. Even though 2D Mario games haven't been getting a lot of attention lately, I still wanted to do my top 5 of my absolute favourites. The rules for this list are quite simple. Obviously, only 2D Mario games allowed, that's kind of obvious. I'm also not going to be including the Super Mario All-Stars remakes, simply because they only just changed the look of the games and not much else. They're very similar to the originals, so I'll just stick to the originals when I rank them. And as always, this list is based entirely on my opinion and my opinion only, so please don't take offense if I leave one of your favorites out from the list. This list was incredibly hard to make, especially the fact that Mario pretty much specializes in platforming, so this was no easy task. I had to narrow it down to only 5 games, and like I always say, there is no right or wrong list. But without further ado, let's just go straight into it. So at number 5, we've got Super Mario Bros. 2. Even though that this is such a weird Mario game because this wasn't even originally supposed to be a Mario game, it's still one of my favourites. This is debatably my first ever Mario game. I mean, I grew up with the Game Boy Advance, and one game that I played a lot on it was Super Mario Advance. I used to play it with my best friend a lot, and we tried to speedrun it. It's really a lot of fun, and again, this game is just absolutely insane. The mechanics are very, very different from the original Mario game, and even Mario Bros. 3 as well. All of the enemies, characters, and models are so weird, but it all works. This is the debut of my favourite video game character as well. I mean, this character is literally the mascot of my channel, basically. Even the bosses in this game are quite cool as well. Again, they're very weird, but I really like the mechanics that they all use in their boss fights. Speaking of mechanics, another way that this game is quite different to other Mario games is the main mechanic of the character you play as. Even though Mario, Luigi, Toad and Peach can all pick up and throw things in this game, they all have different mechanics. Mario is the all-arounder, Luigi jumps very high but is very slippery to use, Peach can float for a short period of time, and Toad is the fastest character. I've always loved the fact that I have 4 characters to pick from instead of just Mario or Luigi. I think it's really cool, and I don't think a lot of platformers at the time implemented this. Overall, this game is so weird, definitely one of the weirdest games I've probably ever played. But weird doesn't always mean bad, and I again really enjoyed this game to this day. And let's be real, this game is definitely more eligible for the list than Lost Levels. Oh look, here's another one of my first ever Mario games. At number 4 we've got Super Mario Land. Yes, Super Mario Land 1, not the second one. I didn't even like the second one. This is another weird Mario game with a different style to it. Apart from Koopas, which for some reason have bombs for a shell, which kind of defeats the purpose of a shell, they don't really have any other traditional Mario enemy in this game. They're all completely different. Even with the locations of the levels as well, they're kind of based off of places in the world. Like for example, there's a lot of Egyptian-y stuff going on in the pyramid levels. Now, even though this is going to be a reoccurring theme for the video, the soundtrack in this game is so classic. Like, even though that lots of people say that this game gets outshadowed by its sequel, the music is a lot more memorable. Like, even my morning alarm is 1-1 from this game. Like, come on. Okay, let's talk about the power-ups. Now, I know that lots of people think that the fire flower in this game is very controversial. Lots of people think that it's very ineffective and annoying to use. But I personally don't really have a problem with it. I think it's fine. Yes, I do think that the regular fire flower works a little bit better. But maybe this is nostalgia goggles, I don't know, but I've never personally had an issue with the bouncy ball mechanic of the fire flower in this game. Other than that, you got your mushroom and your star, and that's about it. In sky and underwater levels, you get to use a submarine and a plane, which is the reason why I think they didn't include any more power-ups. I mean, you wouldn't need to, you literally get to shoot things underwater and in the sky, so You wouldn't really need a power up for that. Let's be honest, you can't really go wrong with this game. It's incredibly simplistic, it puts its own spin on everything. The bosses are really interesting and weird, even the power ups have kind of got their own sort of spin on it. The game is fun in its own right, and to top it all off, you can play this game on the go. That's a win-win for me. At number 3, we've got the OG. We've got Super Mario Bros. I don't feel like I need to say much on this one. Everyone knows this game. Even if you're not a gamer, you know about this game. Everyone has probably played this game. I mean, it's Super Mario Bros. You know what it is. This is one of the most, if not the most classic game in video game history. It's basically playable on 90% of Nintendo systems. That's how recognizable it is. And this is literally Mario's most famous game ever. Show this to anyone without even showing them the title screen and they will tell you that this is Mario Bros. Like, come on. Okay, that's all cool that this game came out in 1985 and ever since then it's been called a classic, but does this game still hold up to this day? I bet this game is outdated and doesn't play very well today. Wrong. Yes, despite being 35 years old, yes, 35 years old, because obviously 2020 is Mario's 35th anniversary, this game is still 100% playable to this day. Still completely simple to play, completely easy to learn, and is still being played by a number of people, both new and old. I mean, this is one of the games that saved the video game industry in the 80s. I mean, if this game doesn't scream classic and one of the greatest things ever, then I don't know what does. I mean, I'm not even going to get into the contents of the game. Everyone's played this game to death. Everyone knows what's going on in this game. In conclusion, this game is a classic, it's a masterpiece, and it will forever be remembered as one of the most famous games in video game history. You see guys, I was born at a time when this was the only new Super Mario Bros. Game for a while. And it was so refreshing because this game had so many cool mechanics and ideas taken from 3D Mario games and implemented into a 2D space. As a person who really loves 3D Mario games, this excited me at the time and I couldn't wait to get my hands on this game. So me and my dad went to the game shop, he bought it for me and I never looked back since. Yes, even though that I've lost the copy that I originally grew up with, I still remember the numerous memories that I've had with this game. Yes, this is another nostalgic one, but even to this day, this is very polished, very good, and unfortunately just gets overshadowed by the new Super Mario Bros. Games, which in my opinion doesn't even hold a candle to this one. Mario controls so flawlessly in this game, like it literally becomes second nature, like after 1-1, like you get used to it so quickly. It's so easy to use, very similar to the original Mario Bros, but it's with the looser controls of 3D Mario games, and it gets put together incredibly well. Of course, this game is literally just a super polished and up-to-date version of the original formula, and as we discussed, the original formula was already great, so imagine how well it works in a modern space. Of course this game is going to be really good. Disappointing final boss aside, every boss in this game is quite unique and is really fun to fight against because of how different they are. I really miss those days, because now we have to put up with the stupid Koopalings taking up all of the boss slots. Again, the music in this game is very good. I told you this would be a reoccurring theme. And even though that this is a very overlooked feature, I really do appreciate the bottom screen use in this game. The fact that I can literally touch the power up that I need in a specific situation is just really handy, and even toggling through the worlds is quite handy as well. I really do appreciate that little touch. I mean, I haven't even brought up versus and mini games. I mean, those two modes alone, Like, those two modes alone are a load of fun. Even if you ignore the main game and you're just interested in versus or even just mini games, this game is still a load of fun to play. Literally, you ignore the main game and stick to other modes and it's still fun. Of course this game is number 2 on the list. Yeah, I apologize for the slight unoriginality, but yeah, number 1 on the list is Super Mario Bros. 3. If you remember me saying before that I grew up with the Game Boy Advance, Super Mario Advance 4 Super Mario Bros. 3 was the Mario game that I played the most by far on that system. Super Mario Bros. 3 basically took everything that was great about the first Super Mario Bros. Game, made it more organised and gave out more power-ups for Mario and Luigi to use. There's branching paths that you can take and there's even bonus areas to go to if you know what you're doing. I still think that Super Mario Bros. 3 has one of, if not the best, power-up selection out of any video game. Even though that this game released on the NES, I still really love how this game looks. It sort of has its own identity and it sort of has its own art style despite being on old tech. I mean, that's really impressive. The gameplay mechanics, the P mechanic more specifically, works very well in this game, and in conjunction with the power-ups, everything just works incredibly well. Much like the other games on the list, the music is absolutely classic and is well composed. I mean, the Mario series is pretty much known for having good music at this point, but this game has a very good soundtrack as well, very good at creating tension and creating a certain feeling depending on what level it is. If the OG Super Mario Bros. Introduced the future of the Mario formula, then Super Mario Bros. 3 was the one that perfected it. And that's why I've put it at number 1 on the list, because you've taken a game that's already amazing and is already heavily respected in the gaming industry, and you perfect it even further. I mean, that is already an A+ from there. So for that reason, and the fact that I played this game a lot growing up, Super Mario Bros. 3 is number 1 on my list. So there you have it guys, that was my top 5 list of my favourite 2D Mario games. Hopefully you did enjoy it. Please comment down below your thoughts on my list and let me know what are your top 5 favourite 2D Mario games. I'll be very interested to know. Anyway, thank you for watching, please like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.